we've acquired, what are we going to do about it for the next 30 days? And how do we make sure that we make it a habit with the practice? So that when we connect after 30 days from today, we should be in a position to say good things about what changed your life, what changed the way you talk, what changed the way you present to people. And of course, we'll hear some small or big success stories from each other after 30 days from today. So I hope the plan of the day is clear with everybody. And it's time to roll now. Who remembers here what we did on the first day of the course? Does anyone remember? Aham, of course, wasn't there. So Aham, you skipped that class. So I would not ask you here, but let me just check with the others. Any one thing that you remember we did together on the first day?
Did we do abilities versus capabilities?
Wow. Thank you, Aman. That was a strong part of the day. Anything else you remember? Yes, Ibrahim.
We talked about first impressions.
Oh, lovely. Really? Do you have any notes that you're referring to, or you just remembered? You just recall this?
I remembered, and I also remember writing, like for first impressions, most people take you as 55% visual, 38%
Vocal.
vocal, and the rest was 7%.
Yeah, absolutely.
Was,
Only 7% is visual, verbal, which is words. Awesome. Well done. Aman, Ibrahim, well done. Anything we remember, Jose, Shlok? Any one thing from you? Jose has like clear memory. It's a clean slate for Jose. He just wakes up the next day and it's a clean slate. And Jose writes everything down. And next morning it's again a clean slate. Isn't it, Jose? That's why you got good hair. You don't stress much. Anyway, that's correct. The two most important things we did together, as Raman rightly said, one, ability versus capability understanding. Ibrahim said also first impressions. So let me just recap our course for us in a nutshell. We learned how to make the first impressions positive, which Ibrahim said, learning how to visually be appealing, which is a body language. Also vocal, which is about verb stress, how you speak. Correct? The tone, what matters when we speak. And the words merely matter because I must influence others or make an impact using my vocal and visual more than just words are. So when we learned that, we also moved into how to build rapport, relationship with our audiences. And we learned about the 12 build rapport principles. Remember anybody? We did that as a group exercise. Yep. Jose, does that recall something now? Build rapport principles. Clean slate again. All right. So we picked up 3 principles. For example, consider yourself honored before speaking to any audience. Smile. Talk in terms of the listener's interest. Remember the audience's name and call them by their names. Welcome criticism. Don't apologize. Remember, we talked about those 12 principles in a nutshell, and of course, everybody explained it so well.
Remember.
Now, when we understood how to build a relationship with our audiences, the next part came when we picked up, including Aham, we picked up the structure of making a presentation. Now, it's very easy for everybody to make a presentation by simply putting an opening to it, giving your introduction and the topic, bringing a fact, a benefit, and an evidence along with it, and then also knowing how to close. Because nobody knew how to close earlier, and now people are aware how to close presentations in 4 variety of ways. Does anyone recall any of the 4 closing techniques? Yes, Aham. Give me one. No. Yes, Aman.
Famous quote.
Famous quote. Now, does that ring a bell?
Action, benefit, and
Perfect,
story.
Jose. What else?
Final recommendation.
And
Story.
a motivational story. Absolutely. Those are the 4 ways we picked up. Does anyone recall any of the opening techniques?
Question.
He's stuck in the circle. He has to go. Nice.
Story.
Yeah.
Anonymous
that's
257 is
storytelling.
struggling
What
right
kind of
now.
stories you can tell in the opening?
He has to pop the mini. He misses the shot and he gets the kill. The other guy missed his shots, unfortunately. And Anonymous 257 does not fail to get that kill. It's too easy for him. Now he's getting shot at by the fake exotic skin. Is he going to be able to
And
win
a
it?
third-person
Oh,
story.
he gets the 25 on
It
him.
means somebody else's
Somehow.
story.
He has 30 HP, so it's going to be really tough for him to survive. He
Got
does
it?
not have a lot of mats as
Now,
well.
when we learned how to
So I don't know if he's
also
going to be
make a
able to survive this. He eats a corn.
we made
He pops a mini.
presentations during the course.
He has to go to
That
the
means
next
we
circle.
gave assignments personally
He is
to
one
others
shot. He's
to,
legitimately 50
rehearse
HP
that
right now, guys.
presentation and say
So
to
I don't know
us.
if he's going to be surviving. What
Secondly,
region we're
also
playing
did
on the
that as a
Middle
group
East. If you guys want to
activity
play
on
as well,
once doing opening,
and
once
if you're
doing
not in
fact,
this lobby,
once doing
write
benefit,
write one,
evidence,
spam
and
one in the
flow.
chat if you guys want to play and if you're not
We
in this
also
lobby.
picked up an
So I know how
interesting
many
thing
people are
for,
waiting. Then I can
simplifying
restart it, chat.
complex information using analogies. Who remembers we did analogies? Of course, Jose, I'm sure you don't forget that. So
I didn't. I haven't forgotten it.
awesome. So we did analogies to simplify information, to connect something to something else, which is easily understandable. Also to simplify complex information for my audience's sake. Then what we did was we also picked up a way to motivate others to action by giving them a story, which was a turning point in our lives that we talked about. A story, action, and benefit. At the end of the story, when you tell others, because motivating others is easier if you have something to tell them as a story. And then we did practice the storytelling technique by remembering how to start a story, how to include details of the story, bringing characters, and also giving in the end the action. What is the message you want to give to people and what will be their benefit? What will be the result of that? And now that you're just about to, let's say, finish your presentation, everybody, something happens. And if you do not handle this one very well, then obviously this part can destroy, can damage your respect, your credibility in front of the audience. Can anyone guess what could this be?
Sure, can you say that again?
Ibrahim and everybody, imagine you did some wonderful presentation. You included analogies, you included examples, you brought in evidence, you had a great opening, you had a great closing prepared already. Now that you gave a closing already as well, something happens from the audience. And this part, if you do not handle well, it can destroy your credibility.
It mostly depends on what happens in the audience.
Mostly what's that, Jose? What did you say?
It depends on what happens in the audience.
So something happens normally, and some presenters are not able to handle this part very well. I'm asking us to assume or guess for me, what could this part be about?
Criticism.
What's that, Aman?
Criticism.
Aman's quite close. Criticism. Oh, some criticism is given to you on stage, and some audience member just raises their hand. Ibrahim, you were saying something as well.
When the audience claps.
Audience,
When the audience claps for you at the end of the.
when audience
the end
claps, then
of
it's a
your
great thing, isn't it?
presentation. Yes.
So not the clapping part. We're saying
Because
something
we
opposite
don't-
happens. Something opposite, Ibrahim. One is what Aman said rightly, which is criticism. Some audience member raises the hand and says, "Hey, I thought this presentation was about something else, and you wasted our time." Hey, Aman, are you sure that you're dressed for this occasion properly? Aman, I didn't like the way you said that example because you were not sensitive to our emotions. I hate to tell you that I was hurt, I was offended by that example of yours. Now, something comes back to Aman after he gives his speech. And if Aman doesn't handle this well, then obviously all that effort that Aman did has gone down the drain. I recall some example of President Obama. Does anyone know who this person is? Barack Obama?
The first president of the United States of America.
Yeah,
That is correct.
everybody was so surprised when he fell down some stairs.
When he fell down from stairs? Are you sure, Aham? Really?
On the inside, the White House is black.
No. He's just kidding. So once this happened to Barack Obama, he was giving mic to the audiences, and one of the kids actually was a black kid. He got the mic. You know what the kid said? And Barack Obama, in his own demeanor, his personality is like very strong. And Barack Obama says, "Yes, my dear, what's your question?" And the kid goes, "Mr. Obama, why do people hate you?" Now imagine he's the president, and some kid, out of his innocence, doesn't realize he's talking to the president, but he just says, "Why do people hate you?" Imagine Barack Obama's respect, his credibility, his position that moment, and just got poked by a kid out of innocence. And kid says, "Why do people hate you?" Now he has to answer it in a way that keeps his respect, his credibility intact. This video is on YouTube as well. And he goes, I'll just tell you, Shlok. So Barack Obama goes, "Wow, look at this young kid. How strong or, great the question he's asked. Well, I can tell you that I've been an elected president, which clearly means that not everybody hates me. And of course, when you become a president, there are some people who may like your decisions, and there will be some people who may not like your decisions. But you have to cater and deliver to everybody in the country." And he says, then he comes converts that into a fun moment. He says, "Well, I like that courage with that courage. This kid has asked me this question. What's your name, my friend?" And he gives the mic and he has this little chit chat with him. So it lightens up the mood of the people, because he has to handle it so well. There are cameras recording his statements. There are videos being made up about him, and every media newspaper might publish something negative later on. So he has to manage it very well. So I'd like to ask all of us to just take a moment and think, what could be one question that you may have received either as a criticism, or you consider that maybe as a difficult question to answer? Or if you want to make one question up about you, how difficult it could be, why don't you write it down for me and think about any situation in which you will receive either a criticism or a difficult question from the crowd.
Could you repeat what we have to do, please?
Jose, use a chat box and write down your question, something which can come to you as a criticism about you while you're presenting, or a difficult question that you could be talking about, any subject. It could be, for example, you're giving Viva to the teachers and they ask you something difficult. Put that question down and let's see how we will handle that. I will share one structure with all, and we will see how you actually adapt to that structure so comfortably. But bring up one criticism about us that you think you might receive or may have received already. For example, you are rude. It could be from the way you talk. I think you were rude to us while you were presenting. You didn't answer that gentleman's question very well. I don't like the way you talk. Okay. I think the information you're giving to us is wrong. That could be another. Think about personally, what do you think you could run into? You know, once I had received this criticism about me that, hey, Raman, you're trying to teach us English. I have noticed that your grammar was poor when you were talking earlier. And I was taken aback. And because there were other people as well, so I had to manage it well. You seemed angry. Sure. We'll take that for you, Jose. No problem. Let's wait for the others so that we have everybody's statement or a question for themselves ready. Let's move on from Obama and president elections. I hate the way you look at me. I hate the way you look at me. You seem angry. Try to change that, AM. Something else.
Who wrote that?
Why is it so dark in your there? Why is it so dark?
Yeah, man, I don't like your tone and how you didn't answer my question in a presentation. Sure. Why does your voice sound dull? Cool. Has everybody written one? Shlok, what's yours? Why does your voice sound dull and boring? Perfect.
Okay, I want.
I think I've got it from everybody except for Shlok. Shlok, let's put it down.
I wrote mine. It's before Aham's last message.
Why did you stutter so much during speech? Thank you, everybody. So now that we have everybody's statement, let's jump straight into how would we handle this. Remember, this could be anything. This could be another statement. This could be another question. Some people posed big questions to us. They keep on talking about their question, and it's a big, long question. How would you handle big questions is also an art that we will learn just now. So provide me one moment and I'll just bring up that. Okay. Let's look at that structure on screen. And once we're through with this, we'll bring the debates up. So what do we see, everybody, on screen? I'm sure we are familiar with a couple of those words on screen already. Aren't we?
Yeah.
Who knows how to listen? How to listen well? How do you show that you're listening to the person effectively?
Look interested and make eye contact.
So let's say Jose, Aham, How about you speak with Jose for, let's say, 30 seconds. Tell him about something over the weekend, and let me see how Jose listens to you. Let me see his body language and what he does. So now just hold on. Jose, I like the way you're keeping the expressions pleasant. This should